Hello Taurus, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Friendly reminder that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation, and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Taurus, let's jump on in. We're going to start with looking at overall energy through oracle cards first, and then we're going to dive deeper into the reading with tarot as we progress. So let's start with looking at overall energy for your recent past. This is what Taurus has been dealing with as of recently. Ooh. These cards are so big, sometimes they're a little hard to shuffle. Okay, new experiences and possibilities. So this is very new energy that you're either desiring, like craving, or like shifting into, or being maybe even pushed into a culmination of vision. Interesting. Okay. I feel like you're stepping into or being pushed into, I don't know if it's an active conscious decision or not. It might be, but I feel like you're being pushed into new energy, which does require you to let go of the old, but also kind of embrace a lot of the unknown, a lot of uncertainty. And I feel like that's what this past energy has been about. It's exciting, but also probably really nerve-wracking at the same time. If there's a lot of fear and anxiety, like if you're going through just like a lot of change at once, there might be a lot of fear and anxiety. But I feel like this is pushing you closer to some sort of vision that you have for your life, pushing you toward more possibility, essentially. Is there anything else? I don't necessarily know, like, because again, this is just overall energy. I'm not getting anything. And I think that any kind of new energy is going to come with like grief of what you're losing, like what you're leaving behind, especially if it's like a new, like you're stepping into a new version of you. That's going to require you to kind of let go of, things that used to align with you and used to resonate with you and just don't anymore. But what is that? How is that affecting Taurus's current energy? So where is Taurus at now? It's like you're being pushed into a pretty uncomfortable yet very important and beneficial period of growth. Almost like, and growth is always going to be uncomfortable. It's never easy, but it always is worth it in the end, as long as we're willing to really embrace it. Okay, big picture, heighten your vitality, contemplation, seek beauty, leap of faith. So a lot going on in your current energy. You're being asked to take some sort of leap of faith here, to take a risk of some sort. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with like betting on yourself in some way. Like this doesn't feel like it's a leap of faith regarding somebody else. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's about trusting others, which is also important. Like I'm not taking away from that, but like in terms of this message, this really feels like an energy of betting on yourself. And there's a lot of back and forth with it, and maybe that again kind of comes with having to let go of the new or the old to step into the new. But whatever it is, it's very aligned. Like whatever, I don't know if there's a decision you're needing to make or just like an energy that you're needing to embody. But it feels like this is very much about like recognizing that you are all of the things that you want to be already. You're worthy, you're capable, you're deserving, you're knowledgeable, you're talented, like all of the things that you need to be in order to get somewhere, to create, because there's a vision here, to create a certain level of success or to step into a relationship that you've been looking for, or I don't know, to create, some level of abundance, which doesn't always mean money. Abundance is so much more than that. But it does feel like it's wherever you're going right now, it is requiring you to really, really bet on yourself, to bet on your ability to do it. Which sounds really big, because it is. But we are just looking at overall energy right now. I don't know, because then you have heighten your vitality here too, which is all about like aligning with a higher vibration. And the way that we step into more abundance and, better experiences is we embody them, right? We step into the person that we need to be in order to create them before the experiences arrive, before the outcomes arrive. So this is very much about embodying. You embody in order to become. And a lot of times it requires you to do it before you feel ready, because you never feel 100% ready. You never get to a point in your life where you're like, oh yes, like I finally don't doubt myself and everything's perfect and I don't have any flaws. Like that doesn't happen. And if you're waiting for that period to happen before you finally feel like you're worthy and deserving of the things that you desire, you're going to be waiting forever. So I don't know, something's really asking you to bet on yourself here, to see the good in you and all that you have to offer. What does Taurus need to know moving forward? Be spontaneous. Be spontaneous. It's almost like, don't overthink this. Don't overthink this path. Don't overthink where you're headed. Yeah, because there's breakthrough. Don't overthink where you're headed. Don't overthink anything, really. Like, it feels like it's just about like doing it or going for it. Especially if it's something exciting. I don't know, like this is, yeah. Because spontaneity can be an incredibly powerful and useful tool on our journey. It can also be self-sabotaging if we take it too far. So I'm not saying like throw all logic out the window, but I definitely feel like this is about like not, because I think that a lot of times, and I know for me, this is something I struggle with, like we can be very rigid and we have this set of rules that we need to follow, or like steps that we need to take, or like, we need to have all of the answers or have full control over everything. And I feel like this is about kind of letting loose and just freaking going after the things that you want. Like almost not taking life so seriously. And I don't mean that it isn't serious and that it, there aren't things that are really important, but almost like allowing yourself to dream and to have fun and to do big things that seem really impossible. Like, I don't know. Because with the breakthrough, it kind of feels like it's yes, I feel breakthrough, but I also feel like break out of a certain life that you've been living or a certain reality that you've been stuck in. Also, sorry if messing with my hair is annoying you guys. My bangs are annoying me. So, okay. I don't know what this is about. But then again, I'm not really supposed to know. This is about you. Overall theme of this reading for Taurus. What does Taurus need to know? Because this energy feels very freeing. It's freedom. It's possibility and potential. It's not this like stuffy, trapped energy that I feel like you might have been stuck in for a while. Overall theme of this reading for Taurus. You're very close to achieving your goal. Some sort of vision. What do you need to release? And then you have a personal issue reaches resolution. So we're letting go of the old. We're stepping into the new. It's like if you've had, like this is just an example. I'm not saying this is exactly what it is. But like just kind of what's coming through is like if you've had a very rigid day-to-day routine where you wake up at a certain time and you do certain things and it's just like going through the motions, making it through the day, doing what you have to. It's like adding a little bit more fun or adding a little bit more spontaneity or doing more things that make you feel passionate and excited and bring joy into your life. Like really just going after the things that you want. Like not being afraid, not holding back from it. And I think that what that requires you to do is really embody like an incredibly confident version of you. And I think that that's why this current energy is all about embodiment, because like I said, you have to embody to become. And if you step into this version of you that knows that you're capable, knows that you're deserving, and just goes after it, it's like that leads you to this freedom. So this is kind of cool. It's very, it's like you've been doing things a certain way for so long, but those things haven't been working. So now it's like trying something new, doing new things, going after it, like finally deciding to start that small business. Going on that date that you've been wanting to go on. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a long day of dealing with my bigs. All right, Taurus. As you can see, for those of you who watch my channel, I'm not wearing my bangs like I normally do because I'm trying to grow them out literally for this reason. Because they've been obnoxious recently. Okay. Let's look at this recent past energy, culmination of vision with new experiences and possibilities. That's such an exciting energy. It's like just brand new to you, almost, in a good way. Recent past for Taurus. What has Taurus been dealing with? A lot of healing. You've been doing the work, the inner work. A magician with the 3 of Swords. You have the 3 of Cups. Wait, 3 Cups in reverse with the High Priestess. The Empress in reverse with the Knight of Cups. So it feels like this is very much an energy of like doing what you feel you're supposed to do. What you've been taught to do, what you've been told to do. For a really long time, when I was growing up, I was kind of given this checklist of actions. It was, you graduate from high school, you go to college, you get a good degree, you find a job, you find a person to settle down with, you have a family, you find success in your career, you climb the ladder. And it was just like this checklist of actions, but none of it was really driven by anything other than like, this is just what you're supposed to do. So I did it. I went to college. I got a degree in finance. I went on to be a financial advisor. I was climbing the ladder quite fast. And then I remember very vividly, I was on my way to work one day. And I realized that I was not living a life that I wanted at all. And that's kind of when I had my spiritual awakening and then had to unlearn a lot. So this kind of feels like being in this energy of like doing what, or maybe even before this, like doing what you've been taught to do, following the rules of society or of your parents or whatever the case is, or like what was expected of you. But then getting to a point where you kind of realized that wasn't really working for you. It wasn't really what you wanted, or there wasn't a whole lot of fulfillment there. And I feel like that shifted you into some sort of like transformation or awakening of some sort, doing the inner work, starting to look within, starting to even maybe for the first time in your life, ask yourself, like, what do I want? What do I want to experience? What do I want out of this life? Aside from what I've been told that I want or what I've thought that I've wanted for so long, or maybe you even reach certain goals and you realize, those weren't as fulfilling as you wanted. Either way, I feel like this energy, it caused you to reflect almost on like what it is that you're really truly desiring out of life, almost like for the first time in some way. Like, what do I want? What do I want to have? What do I want to experience? What am I here to do? This feels like awakening to a deeper sense of purpose. It sounds a little cheesy. That's what it feels like. It feels like starting to find more purpose in your experience here, because you're not just here to make it through the day. You're not just here to go through the motions. You're not just here to check things off of your to-do list. You're here to experience, to give and to receive and to have fun. And I think that for so many of us, life has been about for survival for so long. But then when we kind of tap into more of a spiritual view, we realize that it doesn't have to be that way. It can be and should be about having fun and getting to enjoy your world. Now, it's not always rainbows and butterflies, sure, but I don't know. It just feels like, and maybe this is literally some sort of awakening to realizations of like, I don't belong, or like, this isn't what I want, or, maybe I belonged here at one point, but this isn't, where I desire to stay. And I like it for you because that is the first step in kind of breaking, because this is all about breaking out. It's like breaking out of the matrix almost, like, which was one of the coolest parts of my spiritual journey. I was taught it's all about success and it's all about making the people around you proud and doing things that other people see as successful. And I remember when I kind of awakened to the BS of all that, and I was like, no, this isn't it. That's what this feels like in a way. Current energy for Taurus, you have contemplation with leap of faith. But this path, whatever path you're considering walking or you're being pushed in to walk, it is requiring you to bet on yourself. I feel like that is the main theme of what really is coming through here. These messages are really interesting, and they feel really specific. Whoa. The Ace of Swords, which can be about breakthrough or clarity or sometimes even inspiration, though I get that more with the Ace of Wands. But sometimes the Ace of Swords can hold that. I guess like more clarity that leads to inspiration. Oh my gosh. Okay. What else? The Seven of Cups. So there might, because then there's the Eight of Swords in reverse. You might be feeling a little lost right now, but in like a good way, like an exciting way. When I first started my spiritual journey and kind of went through my spiritual awakening, and I had this, realization that a lot of the ways that I'd been taught to live my life weren't actually the ways that I wanted to live my life, and like I wanted more out of my life, and I wanted to find, purpose and all these things that I feel like we're kind of talking about in this reading. There was this period where I was equally as excited as I was terrified, because it was like, okay, all of the ways that I had been taught to survive, like they're just not working for me anymore. So when I started asking the question, like, what do I really want? And I started, kind of uncovering that and getting to know myself on a deeper level, it was like, there's so much possibility, right? It was like, okay, I could literally do anything I wanted, finding my purpose and kind of stepping into that power. But then on the flip side, it's like all of these kind of constraints that I had lived by, these rules and these certain ways of thinking and believing, it's like those were starting to wash away. So it was almost this period where it was like, I didn't really know who I was. I didn't really know how to even really exist in the world, because so much of the way that I used to live. And like I said, think and believe, like it just wasn't aligned with me anymore. It wasn't aligned with where I was headed, but I was still kind of like in the middle of the journey and kind of stepping into who I was becoming. That's kind of what this feels like. It's like this limbo period. It's like, you know, kind of realizing that where you've been and what you've been doing isn't what you want, but also still kind of discovering like who you are and what you want to do and how you want to show up in this world. And I think that that's where you know, betting on yourself really comes into play. Is, you know, a lot of what walking a spiritual path or like creating a life of your dreams is all about not having all of the answers. It's about, you know, showing up, believing, yes, I'm deserving of good things, but even if I don't know entirely what that means, that also means that I don't really want to settle for anything less. And I feel like that's where you're at. It's like you're knowing that you're meant for more, that you're here to create more, that you have a deeper calling to a deeper purpose, but you're not totally clear on it yet. You're not 100% certain what that looks like or what that means or how that's going to manifest, and that's okay. It's actually a really cool period of the journey, and I think that we go through that period a lot throughout our life, because as you grow, as you evolve, you're going to outgrow certain things. You're going to outgrow certain paths, certain people, certain interests. And, you know, when you kind of outgrow those and you realize that they don't resonate with you anymore, you kind of are then in the middle of like, okay, but what do I like? What do I want? You know, where am I going from here? And that is actually, it's like I said, it's exciting, but it's also very scary, but it's also very like, that's where the possibility lies, because you're no longer saying things have to look like this, or I have to think like this, or I have to believe like this, or this is what I have to do. And you start to actually question that, and you start to step outside of that. And I think that that is why it's such a cool part of the journey, is because that's where the possibility lives. You know, I think so many people spend their entire life just going through the motions. They do what they're supposed to do. They go to work, they come home, you know, they do this, they do that, they have a spouse or they don't, like whatever. It's just going through the motions, do the same thing. But this feels like breaking out of that. And that is what's really cool about this period that you're in is, you know, you are being pushed to question. You're being pushed to challenge the way that you've been thinking and the way that you've been believing and the things that you've been doing. And that's going to open you up to doing things differently, which is going to lead to different outcomes, to better outcomes, to more abundant outcomes. So that's why I feel like you have this Be Spontaneous card, because I do feel like this is about just doing new things, trying new things, like stepping out of your old ways of thinking and believing and seeing the world and seeing yourself, and really truly, I know that that's the future energy you have here, but really truly opening yourself up to like more. Essentially, like that's what this feels like. It's about receiving more, but also about experiencing more and being more and giving more. It's breaking out of that matrix. That's what it feels like. And I've had readings like this in the past, but that's why this feels really specific, because I feel like I haven't talked about this in a while on this channel. So if you're feeling lost, or if you're feeling overwhelmed, or if you don't really know where you're headed, like just know that that is part of the journey, and you're going to find your way. You're finding your way. It's just that where you've been isn't working anymore. So where you're going is brand new, which is fantastic and exciting, but again, scary. What does Taurus need to know moving forward? What can Taurus expect out of this? But again, it's about betting on yourself, betting on your deservingness and your capabilities and your gifts and your talents and your knowledge. Devil in reverse. Letting go of everything that's been holding you back. Because the devil, to me represents fear and unhealthy habits and patterns and behaviors. But then you have this Queen of Swords, which is all about open heart, open mind. So it kind of feels like you're breaking out of like the things that have been holding you back, outdated fears and limiting beliefs and unhealthy habits and things of that nature. You are being asked to embrace an open heart and open mind, which is always really scary when you're stepping into the unknown. But look at that. Then you have the Two of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune. This is the wheel turning in your favor. This is things working out. This is alignment. This is positive changes. So that's what you can expect. Positive changes. But it's going to require you to do the work, to do the hard stuff. You know, one of the things that I've really learned about life, I guess, is that so much of the quality of the reality that we experience is dictated through our habits, through how we show up, how we, you know, the food that we eat and the way that we treat our body and the way that we speak to ourselves and the ways in which we commit to showing up for our goals. Like, our habits speak heavily to the extent to which we value ourselves and the extent to how free, you know, we believe or feel that we are. So I think that this is about really opening yourself up to, and I said this at the beginning, it was like, if you've been in kind of a mundane routine or you've been doing certain things, like challenging the way that things have been and the things that you've been doing and stepping into new, because that spontaneity and that positive change that you start to make, you're going to start to see it unfold. I feel like this is like this energy of like you're meant for so much more than what you've been settling for, and you're starting to realize that, and now your actions are starting to change, which is going to lead to positive changes in the end. It's never easy to go through this kind of change, but it's always worth it in the end. So trust the process here, because I feel like you have a lot to look forward to. All right, I'm going to hop on over to the extended, where we're going to dive deeper into these messages and focus on the tangible advice. So what it is that you can do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Taurus, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Taurus.